This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sean Preston.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have another good neighbor on with us, and that is Seveyn of Faith's Developmental Centre. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. We're getting close to the Christmas actual date. We're only a couple of weeks away. In my household, we're pretty festive. So eager to take a break, be able to spend some time with some friends and family, and then get ready to walk into the new year and not stub my toe this time. So it's going to be great.
That's great. That's great.
Wow, we've never had an opportunity to meet before. And so I'm pretty curious. I'm sure our listeners are as well. So why don't we dive right into it? And why don't you tell us a little bit about your business?
Okay, so this is my developmental center. In this place, well, first of all, Faith is my aunt. It's created in honor of her. Before she passed away, we were starting a nonprofit, an organization where she used to just feed the poor, take in people in her homes. She used to just help the community all over Canada and in Jamaica. And someone told me years ago that I was gonna be the one to fulfill her dream. And it happened naturally, I guess, because I spent a lot of time with her as a child. I kind of just took on her character, and her passion just became mine as well because I seen what she did. So with hurdles and little bumps and struggles, we created it. When I say my family, I'm going to say my immediate family, which is my husband and my children. We created this space. So in this space, it's like a space for the unaccepted, the rejected ones, where we do a lot of stuff that has to do with wellness. So we do artwork, activities, anything to help clear the mind, to bring out your peace. And also like a place, a happy place, a place where you could just breathe and just relax and feel wanted and loved. So we just basically use a lot of activities to do that. And we have we have a women's group, a men's group, where we do affirmations and inspire one another to just keep going the next day. You know, we have our ups and downs, but tomorrow is another day to try again.
That sounds lovely. Okay, so let me wrap my head around this. So does this include all walks of life? Is there a minimum age? Is there a maximum age? You both said obviously men and women, maybe a little detail there.
Okay, so during the day, because there's nothing that much going on, we have our day program where we have our program for individuals with disabilities, where we do activities with them and programs. So those are the ones that when they come out of high school, there's no place for them. So we have our day programs for them, and that ranges up, above 18, up to 18 and over adults. And then through in the evenings, on the weekends, those are when we hold our men group, our programming our women empowerment group as well. Also little activities for the community. Usually we try to do like activities for each age group depending on the registration, and then we book the day. So we also have like paint nights, anything. Like I said, it's like a place where people are wanted, they could unwind, and it's basically on the wellness side mentally.
Okay, so that's like a place to be able to go and take your mind off of what's going on in your life. A place to kind of have that acceptance and be with other like-minded individuals, a positive space for people to just try to enjoy themselves for that hour, give them encouragement, help build up confidence, that type of thing.
And not be judged. And on Sunday, I also have a church service here as well, where it has to do with empowerment. And this place is basically a place for people to feel good, to be encouraged, to be empowered, and to get up the next day and keep on going.
So there's definitely all forms of mental struggles that are out there that people are dealing with, stuff from severe depression, stuff from abusive relationships, anxiety that fall into that category as well too. Could you give us a broad stroke of, what may be happening in someone's life, from something minor all the way to something that's a little bit more on the kind of extreme side of the different walks of life of people that you get into your place, just to give us a bit of an idea of, what might I have that I'm struggling with, whether it's minor or major, that would make me think about coming in to spend some time with you guys and help me kind of with my mental side and emotional well-being and confidence in a safe space.
Well, I'm going to be, first I'm going to start off like anxiety. Anxiety is a big thing, even with myself, because I didn't know that I had struggled with anxiety until I started the process of creating this space. So people with anxiety will come and we will a lot of people have their talents within. They don't really know their talents until you give them, if I give them a canvas and give them a paintbrush and they start going, and it makes them feel good. It kind of eases the anxiety within. So anxiety would be one of our number one disabilities, because it is a disability that people conquer here through the art. It brings peace to them, and not only peace when they see what they have created, that's something that makes them feel good within.
Love it. Well, you mentioned that there's a little food place that's attached to you guys. We haven't talked about that, and I'm a big foodie, so lay it on the girl.
So we have our place called Anderson's Kitchen. So what Anderson's Kitchen does, it's a Caribbean cuisine. It helps support the center, because I'm not from Barrie, I'm not from the north, so I don't know that much people in the community. I just came with here and started to see, well, basically, I will tell you that story afterwards when you want to find out about me, and I will say how this came about. But basically, Anderson's Kitchen helps support the center with the selling of the food. And it's a mixture, Caribbean cuisine. And because my husband's Jamaican, my background is Jamaican born, is Jamaican, but I'm a born Canadian. So it's a touch of Canadian and a touch of Jamaican mixed in that creates Anderson's Kitchen.
That is a beautiful combination. So this was a few years back. I ended up getting a book for Christmas, and it was like a world-renowned, not a chef, but this guy, basically what he did is he went all throughout the world to all of the best like barbecue competition circuits, tasted all of the food, and then made a book that was all like the best marinades, rubs, sauces, all the way from like bastes and seasonings and all this stuff. So I'm a big foodie and I like to cook. And I've been eyeing that Jamaican jerk in there for like over a year. And like 2 weeks ago, I made it and it was off the hook. It was so good. I only used 2 Scotch bonnet chilies. It called from 4 to 12. It was good. Like I could maybe add 1 more. If I did 4, I'd probably be losing it. Everyone's got their different tolerance level, right? When it comes to spicy food. And I botched the rice. I put it in a rice maker. Definitely need to put. We didn't do the kidney beans. We did peas instead.
Okay.
But there is a bit of a process with like getting the beans started, and then the beans need to be soaked before. Then you got to put them. You got to do that for like an hour, and then you get the color. Super cool. Very time consuming to put it together, but absolutely worth it. The combination of spice and flavor, it like just makes your taste buds start dancing. I love it.
That's right. Well, at least you took on that challenge and you conquered it. Way to go.
Yeah, I'm excited to redo the rice the next time we do it. I'm going to nail it. And a dish that I could make all the time. That food's just phenomenal.
That's right. You will nail it. I believe in you.
Thank you. Well, let's go through that journey. That's the next question that I have for you. everybody's got a bit of a journey on how they get to doing what they're doing. I always like to joke around and say some people come out the womb and they know exactly what they want to do for the rest of their life. They pick that one career and they rock and roll with that the whole time. A little bit more prevalent, I think, back in the day than it is today, as there's so many options. We live in a different world than back then. So what was your journey like leading up to doing what you're doing today, and then maybe a little bit of history on your place, like you were going to say?
I was born in Toronto, coming from Brampton. And to be honest with you, what started everything was my family, being honest. They didn't agree with my choices in marriage. And I believed it because I'm not going to say religious, but I'm going to say spiritual. Like, I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe in all of that. And I believed he said to me, he's the one. And, don't get teary here. It was a lot on my head. I did not know what toxic meant. And I learned. Oh, I'm going to get teary, but I'm being honest here.
Oh, that's okay. That's totally cool.
And it was too much on me. I couldn't be who I wanted to be. I couldn't nurture my children the way how I was supposed to be there for them. And I couldn't be the wife I was supposed to be. So I left. It was hard. I didn't know how, because I was so connected to my family. I grew up in a strong family. We loved each other. My aunt that passed away, she taught us how to love. She taught us to be kind. And for some reason, I thought that whoever I brought to my family, they were going to accept them, but it didn't work that way. And I think because they didn't, it hurt me a lot.
Right.
I did not know in the process or during the time that was what was affecting me. I had to learn during the process. And eventually I just told my husband, listen, I gotta leave. And so I lost my aunt. I was really close to her. And then during the process of everything, my uncle, he got cancer, and he was dying. But it happened so fast when we found out. It was quick. So I didn't have a lot of time to digest it. And he told me when he was alive that if I ever wanted my peace, I had to move far, far away. And I used to say to him, Uncle D, how do I do that? I don't know how to do that, because all I know is my family that I loved and cherished so much, but yet they weren't accepting my circle. They weren't accepting my family. When I say they weren't accepting my husband, bottom line. And so, sorry.
All good. It's all good.
Sorry. So he passed away 2018. And when he was in the hospital sick, I left and I went to Blue Mountains. And I loved the atmosphere. It just made me feel so good. This side of the Ontario country, up north. And I went back down and I was like, oh, I felt so good there. And he passed away August, so fast. He got diagnosed July and he died August. and I thought I was going to lose it. And I went to do counseling. I went to do all these things to try to deal with the loss of him
Yeah.
and to deal with everything that was going on. And then I just made up my mind and said, you know what? The one place that made me feel so peaceful was up this side of the city. And put my house up for sale, and I left. Before I left, I had a little vision of me serving people, and it was food, serving the community. And I said, is that what I'm supposed to do? Didn't really know, but as soon as I got up here, and I moved and got up here 2019 of October. So I did declare over my life newness, new beginning, peace, happiness, and joy. I gave up eating meat and said, I'm going to heal myself mentally and physically. And during COVID, my daughter, Shay, she was dealing with anxiety with everything that we were going through. And I said to her, I call her Pumpkin. So I'm going to say Pumpkin. I'm going to be real. I said, Pumpkin, why don't you start doing some artwork? Like, you're very creative. You love doing it. I'm going to go to the dollar store and I'm going to get you some canvases, and we're going to just create our own art for our home. So in our home, we only have art pieces, no other pieces but our own pieces. That way we can build ourselves. That way we can look on our own words, what we want to see, and just take it in daily. And she said, okay, Mom. So she started drawing. And I started telling her what words I wanted to see in the home, so I could see it every day, so I could build up my strength.
Love it.
And so she did it. She did her art pieces. And I'm like, wow, you did that? She's like, yes, Mom. I said, wow. I said, we got to do something with it. She's like, what? I said, let's go. When we open up, when the city opens up, we're going to go to farmer's market. Let's just try it. And we went out in farmer's market and we started meeting people. People started loving, and they're like, who are you guys? And we started telling Shay. And people just started drawing to the artwork, loving the pieces, buying the pieces. I guess they felt our energy because it was so genuine and so real and authentic and healing. And then I started to say, you know what? I started looking for places so I can have this, because I seen how people gravitated to us. And it's been hard. But I believed that God wanted me to do this, to heal people, because there's medication to take to heal you, and then there's bringing out the best qualities within you that will heal you.
Totally.
Right? Medication is a numb, just like alcohol, cigarettes. Some people run to sorry, can I say sex? I don't know.
Yep.
Okay. Some people run to sex. They run to all of these things, and they're just numbing. It is not a fix. But when you start doing things that was given to you naturally from within, and you start bringing it out and sharing it with people, and you're seeing, wow, they loved it. And it could be anything. It could be being a contractor and being creative and building a nice design around a fireplace, or it could be building a deck. It could be, oh, I'm good at doing event planning. Anything, or baking and selling cakes, and you love that. My thing is that I love doing, I love making gadgets and different thing dangles and giving it to people and saying, you know what, you're a winner, you're winning, you're loved, and no matter what, everything's going to be okay.
There is certainly something about finding that happiness inside of you, being able to find a new skill. We can call it a hobby, especially with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. And it's that dopamine hit, that feeling that you get inside from finding pleasure in something that you're good at, discovering a new skill. And then, of course, just like you were mentioning, like gift giving, reciprocating. And it's not just the person receiving the gift. Like I find myself later in life, I wrap Christmas gifts for like 4 hours. I didn't have that many of them, but I'm like working on the tape. I'm like, there's no way they're getting in here. I've got all of my corners covered. And then it's just that giving of the gift, and not just on Christmas time. Obviously, we're in the season, so I'm using that as an example. But my mom last year ended up just getting candy canes. She'd be walking around giving candy canes to like strangers and stuff like that. And that makes her feel good.
It makes me feel good. Like during last month, November, I try my best to celebrate men because I realize that men don't feel appreciated as they should. So I want to celebrate them. I want them to know that we're here. I understand that, I am a woman, but at the end of the day, I'm still human. And I have come to realize that they're struggling and they need someone to say, you are appreciated. And I tried, like 1 year I gave out little medals that says you're a winner. It's like a fake little one, but it doesn't matter. It said you're winning, you're a winner, and you are a winner. We're all winners. You know what I mean? And sometimes like a stranger to tell you that, even though we want to hear it from our loved ones, but if we don't hear it from our loved ones, someone else tells us yes, believe it. And during the process of getting here, I'm not going to tell you it was easy. It was hard. You know what I mean? I believed in the vision so much that I even lost my home, because if I explained everything to the bank didn't understand what this was all about. How's it going to work? It will work because it was given to me, and we lost our home, but we're back in a home. And I kind of took up this behavior. Like my aunt, she used to bring people in her home. I did the same thing, and their intentions wasn't what I thought it would be. And that's a little bit that led to everything, because taking advantage, you know what I mean? They believed in my vision and wanted like my passion is here. It wasn't about passion for them. It was about, you know what? I love what she's saying. I love where she's going. Let's just piggyback on. But thank God, they took advantage of us in a horrible way, and we no longer are with those individuals anymore. I had to just get rid of everyone and just do everything single now. That way, because I'm the only you can have that love and passion for whatever you're called to do. Nobody else can have it. And sometimes nobody else is even understanding your vision or could see it. You know what I mean? Only you can know. Only you're going to work 10 times or 20 times harder for what you got to do. But guess what? I'm here. I made it. It has been hard. I'm going to tell you honest truth. I had this place from like 2021, and because of all the obstacles and everything that was going on with me, we never opened until 2023. But it wasn't even that. Like, the people would complain because it was a call center. So we had to put in a kitchen. We had to put in everything. It took us a while to get started. And then, you have to have your mind focused. And I'm going to be honest, I was focused, but then I was like back and forth because of my struggles that I was dealing with. You know what I mean? But there's nothing better than overcoming it, and I'm glad today to say that I'm an overcomer. I'm an overcomer, and I really just want people to know that happiness comes and goes, but joy lasts forever. So it's the joy that we want. It's the joy that we want. Not that, like, happiness is just temporary.
Very well said. And I'm sure a bunch of others listening, very proud of what you've accomplished. That's a very, very difficult thing to go through, a process a journey that you've been on. So I'm going to rejuggle the questions a little bit on the fly here. Going through those struggles, normally we will also ask on the show, like, you know, people experience these ups and these downs. And I think what you shared has been that for you. But I've always been impressed with human beings, right? Our ability to overcome these challenges in life, because life moves forward and we have to move forward with it. And so it's the mindset, it's seeing the glass half full, it's pulling silver linings out of these things. Growth happens through struggle. I call it the phase of suck. It sucks in that phase. That phase doesn't always last forever. And then when we get outside of that, we change, we evolve, we become stronger, we become hardened, we learn from things, but we pull little bits and pieces from what we went through and we use those to move forward into life, things that we can help us navigate a little bit more efficiently, how to treat others better, depending on the experience that we go through. We pull those things forward as well too. So could you share with us some silver linings, some things that you've taken from the past? Because you've experienced a lot. You've experienced, death. You've experienced hardship. You've experienced loss. You've experienced a lot. And here you are with a very positive mindset, a positive attitude. You've built something beautiful. You're giving back to people who need a safe space to feel accepted, to help fill the world with more joy. We don't come across very many people like you on the show. So what would be some things that you've taken from the past and that you've implemented here in your growth on what you're doing now?
I'm going to say the number one thing is to forgive. Forgive the ones that hurt you. Sometimes they know and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they don't realize the extent of effect that it had on you. So that would be the number one, because remember, we have to remember that forgiveness is not for them, it's for us. Forgiveness is for us. Let it go. Because when we hold on to it, we are missing what's before us. And I know for a fact that was one of the things that I had to do. I had to learn to forgive. I had to learn that one of the things that I did learn is that just because you grew up in an environment where you probably did everything together, sometimes you just did it because that is just something that we were taught.
It's normal, right?
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal to align with what the family is doing. But if you don't want to do it and it's something that you're not interested in, we have to learn that it's okay to say, you know what? I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. And the other side has to well, they don't have to, but they should say, you know what, it's okay. Barry or Larry and Sammy does not want to do it. And we just have to, and let's just respect their wishes. But because we're in this culture where, that's the way how things are done from back, but we have to also remember that culture changes. We just like everything else, culture cannot remain the same. The TVs are different, cars are different, grocery prices are different. So why don't we think that our culture won't change? It has to change. It has to.
I agree completely. You're the first woman I've ever heard in my life say what you said about supporting men. And everybody's needed to take their turn, right? Every race has had to take their turn so that we could make the world an equal place. And then men have their month, right? Men have their month, but it is forgotten. There are a lot of men out there that need the help, and that spotlight is not there. Men have been, we all know the history. We don't have to revisit that, but I was shocked. That was the first time I've ever heard somebody say that. But that all goes to this kind of common goal, this common thing that we're all trying to do together to move forward, is like, No, everybody is equal. Let's put everybody in the limelight, and let's not take too much, and let's not give enough. And so everybody can be on an even playing field so that we can move together, treat people well, treat people the way you want to be treated, and help when you can help, open the door for somebody. It doesn't have to be something, crazy. It's not like, donate when you can. And if you don't have anything to donate, then donate your time. Right. And try to give back. And the more people that do this, the more people that show that they care for one another, those are the small baby steps that over time, they start within a neighborhood, right. Then it starts within a community, then right. It branches to another community, and that's how it spreads.
Right. So that's basically that's why I'm giving God thanks for my journey, because I've learned I'm not hurting. I did do a couple of tears, and the only reason why I did the tears is because from time to time you remember the journey and how you got through it, and I'm overcoming, and I'm here, and I'm giving thanks. You know what I mean? Because I'm being honest, what I've been through, probably a lot of people wouldn't have finished the journey. You know what I mean? And it's a huge accomplishment to me. You know what I mean? I'm still here. I do have my 1 and 2 hard days, but I try, I don't try. I do my best at waking up in the morning and telling myself, you know what? I'm going to make it. I'm doing it. And I am my best encourager. I encourage me, and I have my support from my church as well. They have been supporting me, and we do a lot of affirmations, and I'm just loving my affirmations, you know what I mean? But with the men, I really asked the men, what is it that they want? We don't ask. I asked, and they told me. And then I said, you know what? This room that I'm in right now, I gave this room for them. And the reason being is because the words on the back, I want them to see it every day, every time they're in here, so they can just suck in the words: confidence, kindness, trust, fearless. We are taught that men have to be strong and, they don't have no feelings, but men have feelings. And yes, they are strong, but at the same time, they're still humans. Totally. Right? They still have their vulnerability as well. And we need to make them feel safe to be that way, because if they have on their mind 24/7 that they have to be strong, they have to be strong, they have to be strong, where's the other time for them to feel any different? And I understand that. Could you imagine having something on your mind 24/7? Where's your focus? Where's your focus? You can't focus on nothing else but that.
That's when you start getting lost. You get off the path, and
right,
mental health starts kicking in. And
right. And that's a cultural thing. Again, that's a culture. You can't, suck it up. But you know what? But I grew up, I used to work in a daycare back in the days. And I said to myself, these little kids, they're not afraid to say, you hurt my feelings. Sammy hurt my feelings. They told us, And then after, you'd go to the other child and say, could you please say sorry to Sammy? You hurt his feelings. And I make sure I tell my kids, it's okay to let people know that you've hurt your feelings, because that is the thing that the problem is. We are hurting each other's feelings. That's what we're doing. We're not respecting their feelings. And when we hurt their feelings, they start to feel bad within themselves. And that's where it starts. And sometimes you don't even notice that it's affecting you mentally. We don't notice that it's affecting us mentally until another thing happens, and another thing happens, and then it piles up. And then you become this ugly person that no one wants to be around.
Yeah, it's a compounding effect. I've had a long history of being bullied in elementary school, high school, workforce, all the way up until 2023.
Right.
So I'm pretty sensitive to that kind of stuff when people aren't treating people very well. So I've been working on myself. I've been working on the people I influence, try to treat them the way I would want to be treated. And if
Exactly.
I see that stuff going on, I'm that guy who's getting involved in saying, no, this
No,
doesn't fly, because I know what you're feeling. I know what you're feeling. I know what this does long term. I know what happens if you keep doing this. And so, big advocate for how we treat others here in our community.
no, have to, because it's wrong. And I think that a lot of adults today, that's why their behavior is the way it is, because of the bullying that they encountered when they were young. It starts from young, it starts from childhood. Believe it or not, it does.
Yeah.
And then the ones that recognize it, they change. And the ones that don't, they're still there being an adult bully now.
Yeah, it doesn't stop on
It
that side.
doesn't stop. Right.
So, are there any like myths or misconceptions that you guys get out there from people?
So far, we haven't. We've been getting a lot of, from whoever knows me and anyone that I encounter with, we get a lot of good feedback. I'm going to be honest with you. If I told you that, I'll be lying. And when they walk in this place, they feel the positivity. They do. It just naturally hits them. And I guess because on the walls, there's so much encouragement. There's so much positive energy. It's like you have no choice but to suck it in and to feel it. It's in the atmosphere.
Do you think people ever get like a misconception that they think that your place is not for them because they don't know, or because they think it's something else, that it's pretty wide open for any type of mental health that you have, that they can come there for help?
To be I'm gonna be honest with you, we haven't had that.
Sure, that's good.
Anyone that comes in here, they just love it because it's filled with a lot of creativity and the words. It's something about words. The words fill them. You know what I mean? It's just the energy here. And I think whatever I give off as well too, they don't get that at all. I haven't heard not one negativity, and I plan on not hearing none.
That's very heartwarming. Warms the heart. Love to hear it. So you've been out there working hard, going through your thing, building up something special here in our community. And that takes a lot of time to be able to do that. That is what we would call work. But as a business owner, that's our passion. Work is just, the business is a part of who we are. For the ones that truly understand it, they're not two separate things. They're one. Business is who you are, and you go out, we do that. So work doesn't really feel like work, right? Because we're so passionate about what we do. And oftentimes we can invest a lot of time into doing that work because it does fill our cup, et cetera, et cetera. But there is a bit of a harmony, I like to call it, not necessarily a balance, because we typically work a little bit more than we get to play. But we have hobbies, we have things that we do outside of work. And so for you, when you're not working on your business or in your business, what does Seveyn like to do for fun?
To be honest with you, right now, what my fun is just building back my children and giving them back what they've lost during our journey. But prior to what Seveyn liked to do, everything was family. And unfortunately, it's not how it was in the past. So right now, what I'm doing is just building back my children back, giving them, trying to nurture them, whatever they have missed of me, I'm giving it back to them. So basically, we just go to the beach, um, dinner, eating food. I told my daughter, like, what we do is just, let's celebrate today. What are we celebrating? A better tomorrow. So we like to celebrate a lot by just buying a cake, just by treating ourselves with something. So that is what we have been doing, because when you're in survival mode and struggle mode, your mind is just one mindset. So I'm declaring over my life, I'm living, I'm living, I'm living. So now that we are living, we are celebrating by just eating bad food.
Continuing that joy that you were talking about.
Continuing that joy. So that's what we're doing. And just going places, like just and not places far, just we've been eating a lot of Werther's ice cream.
It's a good place, not gonna lie.
Just treating ourselves. And that's creating our joy. That's what Seveyn is doing, giving my children back what they lost.
That's awesome stuff. I have to ask you though, on a very, very serious note, okay? This is my bottom line, probably the most serious thing we're gonna talk about all day.
Yeah.
Favorite type of ice cream? I need to know.
Oh, pralines and cream. Pralines and cream.
Oh, there it is. That's a great flavor.
That's what I buy all the time. I love peanuts, almonds, any nuts. That's me.
I have an affinity for peanut butter in ice cream, or like Reese's Pieces in ice cream. I'll even sway over to like the chocolate chip cookie dough. Give me anything like that on top of what you just said. Hell, even mix it all in together. That sounds like a pretty good combination to me.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you wish our listeners knew about you guys or about your business? If you had to pick one thing.
One thing. One thing, that we're here and we don't judge. We don't judge. We just want to make a difference in your life. That's it. Because I am not coming from just wanting to help. I'm coming from experience. I know what it feels like. So if I have made myself better, I know that I could show you how.
Very well said. There you have it. Anybody who's listening, anybody who knows somebody who's going through something in their life, we've now found a spot here locally, somebody to be able to come in and find a safe space where they're accepted, be able to work on finding new things to build that joy up in their life, help them navigate the complexities of life. Awesome conversation. Super happy to have you on the show. Great human being. That was a lot of fun. Learn a lot of different things. Super proud of what you're doing out there. And Jeff and I and our listeners, we're all here to be there for you guys, be there for the rest of us, to be good human beings, which we say that a lot on the show. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And let's all move forward together and make this world a better place. So for those who are interested, those who want to reach out, what would be one of the best ways that they can go ahead and reach you, Seveyn?
They can come to Anderson's Kitchen. I know it's at the front because it's the front of the business. Phone number 249-388-3521. And our website address is, it is Developmental Centre at gmail.com. Not sure. Sorry.
Wonderful. I'm sure if we do a little Google search, we'll be able to find you there.
Yes, you could. And I'm also on Instagram. So if our IG page is at faith_developmental_center.
Awesome stuff. That was a great conversation. Wishing you guys all the best out there. Looking forward to maybe doing this down the line.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwithjeffandsean.com. That's gnpwithjeffandsean.com or call 705-413-3775.